Good morning. I know it's Wednesday, but I almost feel like we should be in church right now because the soul food I had last night from the candy yam makes me want to say amen. I mean, seriously, I'm not blowing smoke up here. I really got to tell you, the meal was phenomenal. For $40, we got the family meal and tons of desserts, and I eat a lot. Ainsley ate 2 pieces of chicken. She never eats 2 pieces of chicken, and she's a good eater, but and just seriously, from the greens to everything, it was phenomenal. Not to mention the service. So this morning's breakfast is brought to you by the Candied yam because it was just so good. And as a chef, when I look at these ingredients, it reminds me of going back to having the honor of making family meal for everybody in the restaurants that I worked, because it was like, okay, chef, you got to clean out your leftovers and make something really good with it. And I can't help but see a couple things here. I mean, obviously this chicken, look you guys, this was in the fridge. It's still crispy, it's still good. And what we're gonna do is to crisp that up again, I actually put in a hot pan here. And what we're gonna do is the sheet pan's hot, right? So I'm just gonna pull it out just a little bit. And I did my oven to about 350. And I'm gonna throw that right in there. And the reason I'm doing the pan hot too is that sometimes when you reheat, something fried, you want to have that pot or that pan still wicked hot before you put it on there, so then that's going to even maintain the crispiness even more. So then that's that. So the chicken's in the oven, great. Got my iron on. I mixed up some basic waffle mix. I added, we're gonna add some fun stuff to it today. I added this Fustinis, this select olive oil instead of just a regular, kitchen oil. Just because I wanted to give it a little bit more dimension, because I'm cleaning out some raspberries and that peach cobbler is wicked good. And so instead of maple syrup today, we're gonna take that and we're gonna do some fun stuff. And I'm just doing that to make you, get thinking about, thinking about the Gospels and thinking about Gilligan on the island and cooking with what you have. And so that's gonna be our sweet today, all right? Instead of just getting out the maple syrup. So first things first, this stuffing is ridiculous, the cornbread stuffing, but it's too much, too much. So what I'm doing is first and foremost, I forgot because I get talking, okay? I'm gonna spray down my pie plate, or, this is a little bit smaller because what I'm doing here is now we almost have like a dough. Now I could have heated this up and still enjoyed it in the, and had leftovers. We could have done that, right, you guys? But our thing is we have all this time in the kitchen to have fun, so why not mess around with food and play with our food, right? It's time, now it's time for all those people that told you to stop playing with your food. It's time to play with your food, because I always say, if you want to be a really good homemaker, all you gotta do is mess around in the kitchen, right? So all I'm doing here is I'm not making it too fancy, but I'm making it kind of like, like a pie crust. See, that's pretty cool, huh? All right, I'm gonna wash my hands now. And we know if we wash our hands just like praying, we get those fingers in between each other. We use soap, we sing happy birthday. But today I'm gonna sing hallelujah, hallelujah. Give no harm, go up my arm. Look at that, that's super clean right there. And I do have my sanitizer bucket right here. Now then, we clean as we go, right? And I haven't cleaned that up yet because there's a reason. first and foremost, we're gonna get some eggs cracking here, right? Because we are gonna do something really fun. And we're gonna crack some eggs. And I'm eyeballing it. So I'm gonna do 6 eggs real quick, just for giggles. Now then, you can totally add cream to this. You can add whatever you want to this. Look at that, see? Now I've got my trash taken care of. And, you know, the seasoning in the greens, seriously, these collard greens are like no joke, was just so good. I don't think we have to add much to it other than maybe a pinch of salt and pepper, right? Because everything needs salt and pepper. I don't know if you'd want to add some leftover ham or what, but I'd say no. And the reason I'm saying no to that is because the flavor was just so good that you really don't need extra ham, or if you have some bacon lying around, that's fine. But all I'm doing here is I'm chopping up these greens, and I throw them on the cutting board for a reason, because I don't want a ton of moisture, and this is when we don't want like a ton of big pieces. We want just smaller pieces. Now then, I got that, and I'm gonna throw that on my pie crust. You could totally, if you wanted to, you could totally do this in the oven without all the fun stuff right away, and that's okay too. I'm gonna pour this right over the top here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's almost like I meant to do that. The reason why I didn't is because we've got all the time in the world, right, to make this. So what I'm doing is, I'm gonna clean as I go. Got my trash right there. Look at that. And then that cutting board still looks good. I've got my sanitizer right here. So all of that is nice and clean. Boom. And then, you know what, I'm kind of like a color person, so you could totally take that red pepper that is kind of looking, see, you can hear how soft it's getting, right? But you could take that, little bit of that red pepper, get the seeds out, throw them on top, right there, because we're gonna massage some stuff in here. You know, nothing too crazy, like that. And then I've got this hunk of cheese that happens to have some bacon in it. I got this, we got this like, went to the Rockford Cheese Lady, and we got all this really good cheese, and we still have some of it. And so I'm just kind of cutting it up in nice little slices. And we love cheese in our house. So I'm just doing that, right? And just kind of massage it in there, right? I'm gonna take this fork, and all I'm doing is I'm lightly stirring everything so that the greens, the pepper, the cheese is kind of almost just a little bit divided. Just, that's it, right? That's all we need. And use it like a color. If it's symmetrical, chances are it's gonna be awesome. So look at that. I'm gonna take my little sanitizer right there. Look how cool that is, okay? All I'm gonna do is I've got 350 oven too. That chicken is already smelling wicked good. All right. And I'm gonna probably bake this for about half an hour, which is fine. And so then this could be your lunch, you know, like it's gonna be like a quiche, and you serve that with a little bit of fresh fruit. And that's awesome, because by the time I get done making this cool stuff, you're gonna be full from the chicken and waffles. By the way, I've got some shredded cheese here. That's gonna go on after everything kind of browns. I'm gonna finish my little, we gotta come up with a cool name. We're gonna call it the Tyson Quiche because it'll knock you out. So that's just love for the Tyson family for bringing us the candied yam. I'm double checking my waffle iron right now. It's getting wicked hot, which is super good. And I'm just gonna kind of put that back down for 2 seconds because we're gonna talk about something super fun. We had at the Cascade Roadhouse, I mean, when I was like barely could drive, this thing called the peach Melba. And peach Melba is traditionally raspberries and peaches and ice cream and whatnot. And so this is what I'm kind of going for with this, because we've got all this delicious juice from the Cobbler, and I don't want to waste that juice. And we've got these raspberries that are still looking really good, but you know, Ainsley would probably be pretty picky with these, and you know, and I don't blame her. They're kind of dry, they're not picture perfect, but they're delicious. So we're gonna dump them in the batter right there. And then I'm gonna take my fork and I'm going to even kind of like the lumps of the cobbler, you know, that delicious flour and whatnot. I'm going to just pull the peaches out, okay? And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave this out like that. And then I'm actually pulling out some of the cobbler as well. I'll show you why in just a second. So with this, you don't, look at all that juice, okay? We don't waste that at all. The flavor is phenomenal, seriously. Like, it's just the perfect amount of clove and love and nutmeg and I'm guessing cinnamon. And I'm chopping up these bits and pieces of the whole cobbler as well, because these are gonna give little dense shots of flavor to my waffles. And the peaches are, and the raspberries are gonna be soft hits of super sweet. And these should turn out pretty good. So I've got that done, right? That's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna put my board up here just for giggles. I'm gonna wet my hands because, you know, you do that. Clean as you go, right guys? Got all my stuff super clean here. I got a fork on the floor and that's okay, it happens. So, now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this stuff in my batter for the waffles. I mean, we've heard of blueberry waffles, right? We've heard of apple cinnamon waffles, right? Why can't we have a peach Melba waffle done by the candied yam? So, I'm gonna spray my waffle iron, that's always key, with some non-coating. Now that I've had this baby going hardcore since we started, so I want a hot iron. And you know, I don't know if you guys like to make waffles, but my thing is what I always do is I tend to over pour. So what I do is I kind of just shoot for the center of of each waffle, or if you have a big round one, just shoot for the center and let the waffle batter kind of do its thing, right? And then go back and kind of fill it and push it down like that. Because, I don't know, it's the anal retentive chef in me that's kind of like, you know, we really have enough batter in there. And it's so easy to over pour on these things, and I think maybe I even did it, because once that oil starts spreading out, it starts spreading out. But I give it a couple seconds to kind of do its thing and push some of the bigger batter over to some of the holes, because we're gonna have a little spillage and that's okay. But I want them to kind of cook down a little bit before I throw this on the top. So, yeah, we got a couple seconds. Might as well sanitize our area, right? And that looks good. Clean versus sanitize. I wiped everything down with this towel, right? And that's great because I got all the bits and pieces. Now I'm sanitizing with my bleach water. And that's, you can count on everybody in the industry doing this every single time they prep. And I want to talk to you about that while we're doing our waffles. Now the waffles are starting to kind of leaven like the pancakes. So now this is a perfect time to throw that down, right? And put that in. So now we got those waffles going good. I want to get back to clean and sanitizing. I've been doing a ton of research, and from the CDC and the MSU extension, two sources I totally trust. The thing about the viruses is this virus is going to live forever on plastic. It's going to live forever on metal and surfaces that aren't cleaned and sanitized. I'm more worried about the door handles than anything in a restaurant right now. So when you get your takeout, know that the virus doesn't like living on hot food. Does not like acidic things, so it's not gonna live on anything that's acidic, and that can include everything from a salad to even fresh fruit. And it's not gonna be able to live in our belly. They have told us, everybody has told us from the CDC and MSU, it's droplets, it's spewing out. So when I wore my mask yesterday, I was doing that out of respect for other people, not to protect me, because I don't want to get any droplets on them. God forbid I get coronavirus. But also it's the droplets, and then we touch our eyes, we touch our mouth, we touch our ears, we have a little cut in our hands and whatnot, and we're not washing our hands, and our fingernails. By now, ladies, all of your fingernails should be super nice and tight, because you want to do that, because when you wash your hands, you want to make sure you get under those fingernails and be really, really cautious about killing any virus on you. And I know for a fact that every single restaurant out there right now, when they would clean and sanitize every 4 hours, now they're doing it every half an hour every time they do the board. Every time they would do a weekly cleaning, they're doing it daily now. And I want you to be cognizant of that, because that's the truth here. Is the last thing anybody in the hospitality industry wants to do is get you sick. We're in the hospitality business because we love providing wicked cool food for the people in the community we care about so much. So that's why it's so important right now to have confidence in your local people, in your restaurants, and at least if you can, go and do takeout as much as you can to support, while at the same time reserving some of your money for all these Homecker series. I'm gonna take a peek here, because or as the French would say, So we're gonna have to call that the, I don't know, we're gonna come up with like the candied yam waffle and whatnot. I'm gonna grab some plates here, right? Because we're gonna do these up so gorgeous. My wife and kid are in the other room, and they're starting to smell everything. It smells delicious. I can smell my chicken. It's really getting there. So if you notice, believe it or not, this white boy got a lot of rhythm, especially in the kitchen. Maybe not so much anywhere else, but in the kitchen. We started with our hot, getting that ready. We started by doing all these things that, okay, this takes longer, this takes not as long, 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 this only takes a couple minutes. Now we can do, by the time you get done with everything, it's done. It's not being a great chef, it's being a chief of logistics. Oh my gosh, you guys, I might give that just a little bit more. I like my stuff a little bit more golden brown, if you will. And I'm just gonna peek in the oven for giggles. And already that quiche is setting up. Already that chicken's smelling delicious. We're gonna talk about this deliciousness right here. This is all the juice from our delicious candied yam peach cobbler, which seriously, I bet you it's out loud in some states, because right now I just want to do a shot of this. To tell you the truth, like if you're at home and you've got some of this and you got it left over and you happen to have any good bourbon, or even like a, oh my gosh, these are perfect. Even some like Goldschlager, you can make shots out of this, I swear to you, and that would help you get through the virus that much quicker. Now then, I've got this, I'm gonna put this in my pan, And I'm trying to get every drop of it, you guys. It's so good. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna heat that up, because the last thing we wanna do is put like cold syrup on hot waffles. I never understood that. I'm gonna give my knife a rinse real quick. And I'm just going to give my waffles a good cut. Now then, you could totally, if you wanted to, get out that fresh thing of raspberries out of the fridge, and I'm totally cool with that. But the thing is you really don't have to. I think there's enough flavor in here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of butter, because we'd add it to our waffle anyhow. And once this gets going, I'm just almost like emulsifying this warm love right here with butter. And then you can totally add like your booze now if you wanted to. And you definitely don't have to. And what I'm gonna do is I've got this European butter over here, because I'm fancy like that. I'm Irish. We love our butter. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a really good dollop right there. Yeah, and people wonder why I'm so chubby. And I'm gonna do one under here. Don't tell anybody, okay? And now I've got this delicious sauce, right? Just enough to make the world go round. I'm getting every bit of it because it's so good, you guys. And then we're gonna just take that, boom, and look at this. Look at this, you guys. Do you hear that? Do you hear that crack-a-lackin'? Seriously. I'm gonna do this. And this is how good her chicken is, I swear to you. Look at this. Do you hear that? I'm just doing this because this is how I do my chicken waffles. That's hot. I crack it all over, right? Because it gives it a little bit more flavor. And then you've got a delicious chicken and waffles, courtesy of the Candied yam for leftovers for breakfast. While I'm doing that, and your mouth is watering right now, because I know it is, I'm gonna put that other part over here. I want to show you what's going down with this bad boy right here. Look at that. It's already starting to firm up. It's gonna be gorgeous, and don't worry, I'll have a picture of this after the video. I'm gonna go, and it's about 8:20, so I'll let you know what time it took. It's got about 10-15 minutes in there. You're not gonna leave me there, crispy crackies. And I want you to enjoy this. I want you to reach out to your neighbors. I want you to reach out to people that you haven't known in a long time. And I want you to mess around the kitchen, because if you don't mess around the kitchen, you can't be a homemaker. So all the Fitzgerald's love to you guys at this time, and all the time, really. And take care of yourselves, okay? Peace. I'm out. I'm gonna chow down now.